Alright guys, I got something here today, and what looks like this unassuming Amazon Prime shipping box actually contains much more than just that. It is my childhood. I talked, last time I made a video about Warhammer, I talked about how I got into the hobby and started collecting them back in middle school. I think it was late middle school, somewhere around there. Well, in this box, we got what I had. I have an idea of what was sent to me. This was sent literally by my parents. I've removed all of the locational information here, and it's I just told them, you know, like, whatever you can find, send it over to me. I have a vague idea of what I used to collect, but I don't know everything that's in here. So I wanted to share that experience with everybody and just go through, take a trip down memory lane and see what exactly I was up to back when I was, like, you know, 10 years old or whatever. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, right away, we got this box, and this box is going over here for now. We're gonna come back to that. That is the coup de grace, as it were, but we have a lot of other goodies in the store, probably in various states of disrepair. But let's get everything kind of unpacked here. I missed one. All right, we have a lot of bags here. We got an empty bag too. You know, it happens. Nobody's perfect, am I right? Let's get started. All right, so we got all these bags here that I've taken a quick inventory of, and it looks like it's split into three kind of main categories. We got Tyranids over here, probably my second main army after Space Marines. We got some Orks, some Space Orks over here. Down here we have some Warhammer Fantasy Chaos, and then these bags here, which I can only describe as random bits and junk. So I got 2 bags of Orks. I honestly don't remember anything about my Ork collection at all, so I'm just as excited to see what we have in store here. Besides, you know, some boys, presumably. First up, Goblin Green bases. If you're new to the hobby, you might not recognize that, or you might have just heard of it, but this is honestly how a lot of people did bases back in the day. If you weren't like a, you know, a golden demon entrant or something like that, if you're just a kid playing this hobby, like a lot of us were, this is what you had: Goblin Green on your base. You can see the black just showing straight through there, starting to chip off a little bit, which means I don't think there's primer on that. But hey, not a half decent paint job, honestly. The mistakes seem pretty cleaned up. We got the belt buckles here. We got the belt buckles painted. If we can focus in on that. Look at that. Look at the belt buckle. I'm impressed with myself. Assuming I painted this. We got the teeth painted too. This is a high quality paint job. It makes me think I didn't do it. It might have been my dad. He was also quite into, you know, model making, not into Warhammer specifically, but he helped us out with our stuff. Yeah, this one looks more like me. this one here looks a little bit more like me. There's the difference there. Look at that. Random blue streaks all over the place. The metallics still look quite nice. You know, for the larger portion of the model, it looks decent. The teeth are fine. But I don't know what's going on with those belt buckles. Certainly nothing like the last one we saw there. So I feel like this first one may have been my father's handiwork. Or maybe he had a hand in painting all of these and I went back and ruined them. Here's someone, you know, this is like, I didn't know what color schemes or army coherency or anything like that was back in the day. I was just painting minis for the sake of painting men. This guy's not too bad. This guy's not too bad. Like, obviously not the same color scheme as the rest, aside from, like, you know, the orc flesh tone and whatnot. And I think for almost the entirety of these are going to be Goblin Green bases. Ooh, I remember this one. This is a good one. I was proud of this. Even in my early days, I was big into conversions. So here we got a boy with a custom slugger. Look at that double-barreled boy. That is two guns glued together. I love the helmet on this guy too. I feel like I meant to make him like a war boss or something just from the detailing. We got some blood on the knife. We got some blood on the shoulder spikes. Not sure how it got there, but you know. On the knuckles too. On the knuckles too. Ooh, man, that's spicy. I'm proud of this. Random splotches of goblin green. You know it's gonna happen. My hand was definitely not as fine as it was today, but overall, this is a great model. A little bit of kit bashing. Very early on in my career. Just noticed. We got a little bit of flocking on the base there. I wonder what we used to make that. Looks like it's too fine to be sand. It might have been an actual flock. We got an arm. And if you're new to the hobby, you might not recognize that a lot of these figures are pewter. This is coming from before Warhammer had a fine cast resin line. A lot of metal stuff back in the day. It was plastic or metal. And if you're getting like a character, like this boy is right here, they were way harder to put together and a lot harder to paint too. This is an old, probably 3rd or 4th edition war boss, and his arm fell off. It looks like it was re-glued on several times and probably just never stood the test of time. I wouldn't be surprised if that arm was off before it went into shipping. But you know, you got your arm. It's supposed to be like right there, and he's got a gun and stuff like that. But I want to pull attention to this arm here, which is sitting about a full ½ inch away from the shoulder joint. And I think we were trying to glue it on properly here. I believe we were trying to glue it on and it probably just kept slipping, and eventually we're just like, nah. We got a nice textured base here though, but we got like a tank door or something. This is all pewter too, I think. This is just a random bit. It looks like maybe some kind of like power pack. I'm not really sure what that came from actually. But we put it on the base because he's an HQ. Other interesting thing, this guy has a peg in his foot to put him on the base. There's no slot for a peg here, so I'm guessing we just kind of glued him on. I believe I found the glue spot, in fact, where we just kind of glued him on like this. And, hope no one would notice, I suppose, is the strategy there. Seeing my efforts materialize back in the day, what a treat, honestly. I actually did an okay job on the war paint here. He's got some war paint, and hey, that doesn't look too bad. Was I running Lucky Blue when I played Orks? I honestly don't remember, but it seems to be a trend. This is one I can tell was painted by my dad. I think what happened was he just got sick of seeing so many unpainted models, and he's like, I'm just gonna paint some of these for you. And me and my brother as kids are like, okay. So I'm pretty sure all of these nice orc paint jobs are from my father, and then I went back in and you know, ruined them with random blue splotches and blood effects and stuff. This one, no, you can tell this one was me. Look at that detail work compared to the other one. The work of a fine artist in training. My dad did a real bang up job on these boys. This guy doesn't have a gun. Yep, found it. There you go, buddy. Now you're armed and dangerous. A little bit. This is definitely one that was painted by me. Look at the care taken around the edges of the base here. I feel like I did that on purpose to try and add texture, but it just looks really messy instead. Grass does not, in fact, bunch up around boots the way mud or something else does. Another well-painted Shuda, the work of a superior, an adult at least. No blood effects, no blue splotches. Obviously, a studied and practiced hand. Oh, look at, okay, we got something here, This is actual flock on a base. which leads me to believe that this custom boys was using real, genuine flock, a technique that I haven't picked back up. This one also most likely done by my father. I think this brown on his pants was a custom mixed paint, which was not something we had much experience with back in the day, but was definitely something that was tantalizing, to say the least, and something I do. I pretty much exclusively mix my own paints these days. It's a lot easier than people think to just get your basic colors and then just mix the rest of whatever you need. The ones that look decent were first painted by my father as a base, and then, or like maybe he like did the teeth or something and then just like came in and ruined it. Here are the last two in this bag. Ooh, I like this guy. I like this guy. Let's take a look at this guy. I love all the bits that you get with an orc kit, like the shoulder pad, the iron jaw thing. We got the scope on the rifle. You know I liked this guy. I don't know why, but I decided to put a lot of effort into modeling him. And then we got a couple of fallen soldiers here who are missing limbs, are missing bases. But that is, I think, the extent of my orc collection. I'm pretty sure my brother had a kit of orcs too, and also like a Killacan or something like that. Orcs were a thing that we were both kind of interested in, kind of split an army, I think, is what happened there. Next up, we got some Chaos Warriors here. So, one thing I want to note is that not everything I collected is in this box. Some stuff has been it's still in my folks' home somewhere, secret and safe, or it's been lost to the ether, or even perhaps I gave it away to a friend or something like that. But for example, so Space Marines were my first army. My second army was Tyranids. I had a third army, which is not present here, that was Eldar. And I think my Eldar I gave away or traded to a friend for some of his Tyranids. Something like that sounds correct to me. I didn't have very many Eldar. It was like a squad of Rangers, a Wraith Lord. That might have been it, honestly. And I also had some Warhammer Fantasy Dark Elves. So the Dark Elves that I was building were already supposed to be kind of influenced by Slaanesh. So I decided to pick up some Slaaneshi Chaos Warriors, because this one, it wasn't an army. It was honestly, I just really like the way these sculpts looked back in the day. And I still like them now. There used to be a lot of units back in the day that had super long spears or something like spears that would like literally come out to here, and moving them was just a massive pain, and getting them in close combat and things was just a huge pain. But these warriors rank up quite nice. It looks like I had 12 warriors plus a aspiring champion or something like that. I'm not sure what it was called in fantasy. And the thing I liked about Slaanesh was the color scheme. The pinks, the blues, the purples. Even at this young age, I was all about it. There's some really good examples of early dry brushing technique here. Look at that. Beautiful. And I loved the contrast that pink chainmail just sort of gave to the army as a whole. This was, I think, probably some of the last stuff I painted, maybe aside from some Space Marines, during this stage. Like, Warhammer Fantasy was towards the tail end of when I was getting into Warhammer, and I was desperately trying to find people to play it with, because none of my friends did, and I was like, Warhammer Fantasy is really cool, guys, you should get some models we can play. And then they're like, it's really expensive and I can't justify that. And I was like, all right, fine. I love the paint job on this guy. And this stuff was all me. This was not touched by my dad, I don't think. But we had some heavy dry brushing techniques going on here. Some heavy dry brushing. And it turned out really well. Doing the pink on top of the blue, I think looks actually super cool. Almost pearlescent or something like that. The helmet looks dry brushed really well. It looks like I like to paint things today, which is more gritty, sort of a grim dark style. I'm not sure if that was intentional back when I was painting this guy, but it turned out we got the blood on the axe. Really nice dry brushing on that cape actually. It's simple, but like, I'm honestly impressed for my age. I'm impressed with what I was able to pull off with this guy. This leader model here, oh man, that's so cool. That's so cool to see that I wasn't totally hopeless even back in the day. Check out the base. We got that Easter basket grass base. I'm not gonna justify it myself. And then this little gaunt right here, modified with, I think, legit Play-Doh. They are kind of my pride and joy. They're the thing I remember most about the hobby, and I don't even know if they're any good or not. So let's take a look. This guy, back in the day, was one of the baddest dudes you could get for the Space Marines army.